Hello future, and welcome back to the Some Minecraft Let's Play. Today we're picking up where we left off in Minecraft 1.8. I am your host Casey Fly. Let's play some Minecraft. Alright guys, I am super excited for what we're doing today. For those of you who hate delayed gratification, it is not finishing the house. That's not what we're doing today. Today, oh boy, we have found a mineshaft. Yeah! So we're going to be getting ready to tackle that in today's episode. We built our, I always want to call them split mines. Strip mines. We built our strip mines. And we took one tunnel just as far as it would go, and then we got to a cave and roll the footage for that. Oh wow, that was an eerie noise. I can't believe we actually found one. The next episode is on. Alright, so that may have been a highly edited clip. You didn't get to see most of the cave, I imagine, but we did. We found a mineshaft, and today we're going to be exploring it. So there's a couple of things we need. First of all, we need armor, and I know. Iron for life. Iron for until you get diamond, then diamond for then there's netherite. Netherite for life. Dudes, we're doing leather armor today. It's like why? Why do this? Why make borderline pointless? I like it, okay? I just like it. Personally. I especially like how you can dye leather armor. You want to know what's crazy is I've never dyed leather armor white. And we don't have a ton of bones to just waste like this. But I think we're gonna do it. What does that look like? Oh yeah. Yes. I'm loving it. This is McDonald's right here. Oh, that is beautiful. Okay. You guys remember Power Rangers? Like from a long time ago? You older. You gotta be a little older maybe to remember. I don't even know if they're making Power Rangers still anymore. The White Ranger, guys. Look at this. Boom, 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 boom. Bam. Oh, yeah. Oh, that looks great. Oh, I love that. Oh yeah, that's awesome. Whoops. That is awesome. I think we're keeping that. Yeah, so we are working, our primary goal that we are working towards is building the enchantment area, the minor one in the basement of the birch house there. This will be our first enchantment area. It'll be great. We'll love it. But to do that, you guys remember the future site clip that we looked at? Roll the footage. So this is my vision for some of the modifications I want to make to our house. I want to add on a chimney, and I want to make it somewhat functional. And here's what I'm talking about as far as functionality. I want to be able to throw in some furnaces behind it and be doing all of our cooking behind it. Yeah, so we had cobwebs up there, and guess what you can't craft? You can't craft cobwebs. Although I wish you could throw some string together. I'm sure that's you know what we are gonna do? We're gonna fight some things down there, I'm sure. So we're just going to get ourselves Just a few more arrows. Nothing spectacular. It's not going to be like our main weapon or anything. Just enough to, yeah, maybe like that. Or maybe like that. And as nighttime descends, so do we. And down and down and down we go. And down this one right here. And keep going. And keep going. Food break. Pass the diamonds, you don't need them. Alright, and here we are. The cave that we found. Was it up here? Following the torches we left on our left. There it is. There it is, guys. Oh, you see that? It looks beautiful. It looks beautiful. Is that a creeper right there? What is that? Uh-oh. I hear him already. I hear him already. Okay. All right. I've done some rudimentary blocking off and lighting up. So there are a few things in particular that I want to tackle in a tutorial-esque kind of approach in this episode. Alright guys, so here we are at the mineshaft that we found. Now, the first thing you're going to notice when you're out digging around that's going to alert you to there being a mineshaft, more than likely, is going to be this kind of a structure, this kind of a setup. You'll see planks underground, planks that you didn't place, naturally generating planks with fences. As you progress through the mineshaft, as we're exploring it, the fences they make a very useful strategy for navigating and fighting mobs. Now, some people will tear out all of this as they progress through a mineshaft to keep track of where they've been, because mineshafts can be like a labyrinth you have to navigate. The next two things that you'll probably notice about mineshafts are these right here, right? We'll start with this. Mineshafts have a ton of like broken rail track running throughout them. This is an excellent source of how some players get an abundance of rails, right, to make use of in their own world. We will actually be collecting these as well. Right. Our main reason for coming here today, our main reason for looking for and finding this whole thing, are these guys, cobwebs. Right. Cobwebs have a few interesting properties to them. Right. The first is that if you let me see. There you go. If you were to walk through or fall through cobwebs, it would slow your fall tremendously. You'd have to attempt to break the cobwebs just to get yourself free to be able to move fast. It'll slow down mobs, it'll slow down items, it'll slow down pretty much everything that comes into contact with it. It also has a really spider webby looking texture, right, as cobwebs. We plan on using it for a smokestack. Now, I wouldn't attempt to break cobwebs with your fists, as purely punching it takes a long time. I'm not even sure that it drops anything if you break it with your fist. I do know that if you break it with a sword, it goes a little bit faster, but we don't want to do that because breaking cobwebs with a sword only drops string. In fact, even using shears on cobwebs, regular shears, right? Find some iron, smelt it up, regular shears. In 1.8, even shears will just break the cobweb as string. If you want to collect these guys, you got to do what you got to use what we picked up in the last episode, right? With the docks. You've got to use enchanted shears. We threw the enchanted We threw the enchanted book on a pair of shears, Silk Touch, right? Silk Touch mining cobwebs will drop the cobwebs so that you can then turn around and place it again. And that's one of the main reasons why we're here, is to collect the cobwebs. Now, you can kind of get a glimpse of it here, a little foreshadow, but the next thing that we're going to talk about is how mineshafts are not flat structures. They actually have multiple layers to them. There, you can see layers of the mineshaft down there that we'll be tackling as we make progress through this mineshaft. One of the next big things that you'll see in mineshafts, we saw one clear back at the beginning, are these 4 columns. And sometimes these columns go up to a new height, and sometimes they go down to a new depth. But they can be a little intimidating because you can kind of see through the fences over there that direction has more behind it, and this direction has more behind it back there, and then this direction I think has more behind it. My way of approaching these things, and you'll see me do this a lot, is throwing down one of these numbers, right? If there are cave spiders, I would think that I would be able to hear them, and I would approach it a little bit differently, maybe closing off the entire thing, maybe using fence gates, or maybe using fences, but just generally dealing with these things, this is how I approach it. I'll throw those down, and then if I can poke a hole through and take a look, then I'll drop down a level, yeah, to be able to get a glimpse of what's around me. And then you just progress one direction at a time, lighting things up. And this is what I was talking about. Sometimes the pillars can ascend upwards, leaving an opening to new levels to be explored. Sometimes. This time it doesn't look like it. It looks like it's just a complete room. One room up there, but things could spawn up there, so we're going to throw a torch to keep that lit up. Now, we just mentioned there being layers, and that sometimes you can get up a layer or down a layer through these pillars here. But another way that the mineshaft elevates in layers are these sort of stairwells built into the stone. Me personally, I really like this feature. It reminds me a lot of like Legend of Grimrock, if you've ever played that game. And actually this stairwell just led into another stairwell. So you can see how these things easily shift. Ah, but this one is blocked off. Okay, so sometimes this will happen. Sometimes you'll find stairwells that the miners didn't actually continue. Another dimension to mineshafts that a lot of players actively search for are these right here. In the mineshafts, usually off to the side, not like on a rail, weirdly enough. You can find these. Well, I guess maybe it is on a rail. Looks like maybe it is. These are minecarts with chests, and they contain loot that you can find. Sometimes loot that you can only find in places like this, or maybe in nether fortresses or something like that. One of the things that we might be looking for is a name tag, but you can also get those from fishing. We have a lot of experience with that. But another thing that you can get are pumpkin seeds and melon seeds. There's a variety of things that you can get. Let's find out what we've got here. Okay, so we got some pumpkin seeds. If we didn't have pumpkins up on the surface, that would be pretty useful, actually. We did get some bread that'll help as far as just being food for us goes. We got some gold too. Not bad, not great, but not bad. The main reason why I'm excited about this is because I actually want the minecart. Minecarts are relatively easy to craft. They're just 5 iron ingots in a U shape, right? Like an upside down helmet. So they're relatively easy to craft, but you know, sometimes they can also be expensive. I mean, depending on your situation. We're not going to have a problem with that after the haul that we're bringing home from this place, but yeah. What would have been really nice is if we had gotten some melon seeds. That would have been cool. Here we found another minecart, And this one actually has a rail that would have generated alongside it, and because minecarts spawn on a rail, it gets this interesting curved feature. I've never actually seen that before. That's pretty cool. Melon seeds! There they are. We also got a brand new iron pickaxe and a bunch of iron. We got some coal, some more bread, some lapis. This is a pretty good minecart right here. Now, one of the latter things that you want to be on the lookout for when you're navigating these mine shafts are, oh, you just saw it right there. These things right here, when you see a bunch of cobwebs all forming together, like completely blocking a hallway, that is a telltale sign that back beyond the cobwebs, there is a spawner of cave spiders, and cave spiders are the worst. I mean, they're absolutely fun. They make dungeons fun, right? But man, they can for sure almost kill you, right? Here's what makes them the worst. Oh, there's a fence here. Okay, cool. They can get through 1 block spaces, right? So if there's a hole, right, and a spawner on the other side, all of the cave spiders can get through this 1 block space, no problem. So if you're going to block them off, like we've done here, you can kind of see there must be another spawner over here, because we blocked this off. You can kind of see the spider limbs poking through here. There's a spider head poking through the corner there. There's absolutely another spawner back there, which is cool because we have one over here and one over here. We might be able to turn this into like a dual farm. Now, I've never worked with cave spiders to make a cave spider farm before, but that could be interesting. I told you that that fences could be useful. One of the things that they're really useful for is for fighting cave spiders, because if you can just block it off, cave spiders won't be able to get through this little with the fence here. It cuts off their access to be able to get through. Boom. But the thing that makes them really deadly, man, there's a bunch of them in there, is that let's see if we can get hit by one of these guys. Oh, you see that? Yeah. Cave spiders, oh, they poison you, right? So I don't know that I would recommend bringing a bucket of milk. The poison effect doesn't last for very long. It's only like 5 seconds. Killing them does drop string. I don't know that I would warrant bringing milk unless you're going to bring like an entire cow down here. Because one, the poison effect doesn't last very long. It's almost makes it pointless to take up an entire inventory slot with milk. But also, the best approach is just to run away, right? If you can't block it off, if you can't get a torch in there on the spawner, which I will show you in just a second, the best thing to do is just run away and approach the entire thing strategically, right? One thing we can do here, we can do that. Just clean up a little bit, right? And then throw in a torch. Yeah. If you can throw a torch right on the spawner, then you decrease significantly their chances of spawning. One strategy for dealing with these spiders is if you can block off like a support here, right? The fences will connect to it, they won't be able to get through, but then you can poke holes in either side, because when the fences no longer connect to the wall, like this fence here, then you can attack right along the side of it through an area that they can't get through. Make sure you remember to pause occasionally to eat some food to replenish your health before moving forward. Take all the time that you need with this. You don't need to run through these things fast. Oh, and I had my sound off because when I was doing the introduction to this mineshaft, I didn't want the noise of the cave spiders to be overwhelming, because it can be. And we will have our sound on moving forward, so if there are clips where the sound is off, those were probably recorded before this one. But yes, these are the noises that you can expect behind walls and down corridors here in the mineshaft. Anywhere these things are being spawned. pretty sure they're only spawned by cave spider spawners. They don't spawn naturally in the world, I don't think. Now, Mineshafts also have another feature, which is a reason why people tend to search them out, because alongside these cave spider spawners, which, I mean, to be completely frank, most people usually end up just breaking them, you can also find a dungeon. Dungeons are one of the oldest structures added to the game. They were added during the InfDev period of Minecraft, which makes them actually predate Mineshafts, which were added during Minecraft Beta. Dungeons have a mob spawner. Sometimes it's a skeleton, sometimes it's a spider, and most of the time it's a zombie like this one. They usually have a chest or two inside of their space. Let's find out what this loot chest has for us. Oh, music discs. 13, okay. We got some iron horse armor, and we've got some redstone. Cool. I'm not too concerned about the saddle. I'm not too concerned about having a copy of the music disc. And as you can see, my inventory is a little full. Maybe we can grab the bread. I'm okay with leaving this here for now, but this is actually something that we need to mark the location of in the world, because we will be coming back here to create a mob farm. Now, ideally, I would like to have a mob spawner a little bit closer to home than this, but if this is the best that we can do for now, then this is the best that we can do. At least we know that one is in here, and you get to see that they are, they tend to be paired with Mineshafts quite well. And I think that's everything that you can expect inside of a mineshaft. Let's head back to the base. Well, that brings this episode almost to a close. The final thing that I wanted to discuss with you guys is my plan for Mineshafts moving forward in the future. I would really like to post videos that are not necessarily about developing this series or developing our exposure to things, not functioning like a tutorial or anything like that. Similar to the set of adventure episodes that we had, cave diving in a previous trilogy of episodes, I want to do something similar, and I think a cool way to incorporate Mineshafts would be to make Mineshafts a sort of adventure episode. I'm also highly contemplating putting them up on, like live streaming them, and being able to answer questions of people who hop on a live stream and want to ask questions or want to talk about things. And for that, I want to introduce chunk base. Now, chunk base is a thing, I think it's normally used as like a slime chunk locator, but I was checking it out, and apparently chunk base also functions as a locator of a lot of things, and it works for 1.8 with large biomes, which is exactly what we have. You can throw your seed into chunk base, and then it'll tell you where everything is, but you can also mark things as completed. So one of my other all-time favorite game series is the God of War series, and God of War, the newer games, God of War 2018 and God of War Ragnarok, they had a feature where you could kind of look at the world map and see everything that you have to do to complete an area. And chunk base kind of works a little bit like that. Chunk base has an element to it where you can mark things as completed after you've completed them. So we could go into chunk base and we could find the mineshaft that matches the rough coordinates of the mineshaft that we've been exploring, and when we are finished exploring the mineshaft, we can mark it as completed. I think that is something I want to do moving forward, having those kinds of adventure-y episodes kind of dedicated to live streams, and then if you're interested in checking it out, you can go check it out there, but it's not really going to be part of the main series that we're doing here. It's not going to be developing the world necessarily, but we will come away with a lot of levels, a lot of loot, a lot of resources. And I think the idea of doing that, at least for the near future, and having that be content over on Twitch or something, is a little bit more appealing than starting like an iron farm right away. right? Because we get, look at this. Look at this. Look at that. 29 blocks of iron. More stacks of iron. Like we're adding a little bit of iron to it. From caving and from the mine shaft, there's just so much in the way of resources to be gathered. So that's what I'm thinking about doing. Anyways, that's going to be the end of this episode. I appreciate all of you guys watching and coming along on this tutorial style approach to mine shafts. But that's it for this episode. I hope you all have a wonderful day, night, whatever is ahead of you. And I look forward to seeing you all in the future.